Have you guys ever had problems disciplining your own kids? If so, you're going to want to stay tuned because that's what we're discussing today on Family Fuel Friday.
Set my world on fire.
Hello, Fire Family, and welcome back to our channel.
Hi.
And happy Friday. It is a second episode of
Family Fuel Fridays.
Today we are talking about disciplining your kids.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned because we've got some interesting points and we're going to talk about how we discipline our own kids.
Uh-huh.
We are no experts by any means.
No, gosh no.
But I hope that our experiences can help you guys learn. And like I said, if you guys see anything that you think would be helpful to us, let us know.
Yeah.
So first, I guess we're just going to discuss how we were disciplined and how we discipline.
Yeah.
And you guys can make up your own opinion. Go ahead and start and kind of just explain how you were disciplined.
How I was disciplined? Okay. Well, a little background. I'm an only child, and my mom, when I was growing up, it was my mom and my grandparents. And so my mom used to spank me. Not hard, not violently. She did spank me, but at one point, I remember, well actually my mom tells me, I don't remember it, but my mom told me that my grandma said that I was afraid of my mom. You know, she tried spanking, she tried timeout and things. Like I said, it evolved as I got older. And you know, grounding, not being able to go to friends' houses, things like that.
Yeah, and for me, I grew up with spanking. I come from a family of 10 brothers and sisters, so like, my parents didn't have time to mess around.
Yeah.
If it was really bad, my mom would be like, you know, go to your room. Your dad will take care of this when he gets home. So my dad was always the discipliner for the most part if things really got bad. And it worked for me.
I think spanking grabs their attention, and I think if maybe spanking doesn't, sometimes kids are like, that didn't hurt, you know, or they like are immune, they could care less if you spank them. Like, I used to spank Alina, and like, it was like I did nothing. She'd kind of look at me like, okay. I also think disciplining is always evolving and changing. Like, I don't think doing one thing when they're little is the same you should use when they get older. I think it changes as they grow.
One of the key things I really want to talk about is we're a blended family, so we got married, what, going on 4 years this year. That was a whole different ball game in itself.
Yeah.
Kind of going from, I've never had any kids, and Caitlin having one, to kind of trying to see where my role is as a discipliner.
Yeah, it was hard for me because her dad is in the picture, so it wasn't like he was just gone and Greg needed to step in as a dad. And I'm like, well, we're dating. You don't need to discipline Alina. I've got that under control. Well, I didn't really. There were times, you know, maybe I wasn't home or whatever, and maybe she acted up and he needed to discipline her.
And that was hard for me because it kind of tied my hands at first.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of kind of, not arguments, but talks about it. It was like, you know, if you're living with me, I have to be able to discipline her.
Right.
And ultimately, us moving in together was kind of saying, you know, this is going to go somewhere. And kind of, we knew marriage was down the line. Me knowing that's where things were headed, I was ultimately going to be stepping into a father figure role for Alina.
Right.
And so it was hard at first, me trying to step back, because I feel like with Alina, since it was a divorce and everything, Caitlin...
I gave in to her a lot and, like, you know, let her kind of run the show.
Right.
I really did.
So she really didn't have a whole lot of discipline to begin with. And she still, I think...
Not from me.
I think she still kind of faces that a little bit. Yeah, I know we talked about spanking. I have never spanked Alina.
No.
I mean, that's just not... I just don't feel like... She didn't grow up with that, really.
Right.
So we've kind of ultimately just went to grounding or going to your room and timeouts and stuff like that.
Taking late sleepovers.
Which doesn't always work, but...
No.
But that kind of gets me to the point of the advice I wanted to give everybody. The best way to discipline your kids is to, you know, find out what is of value for them.
Yes, like their currency.
Their currency. You know, you got to figure out what your kid's currency is. Like Amelia's, like we talked about her tantrums and stuff and trying to figure out how to get her not to do something. Just this past week, I realized, I'm sitting there thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, what is her currency? Well, she has her passy and her blankie with her at all times.
Yes.
And that's her security thing, and I always just say, if you don't listen, we're going to take blankie away for a little bit.
Right.
And we just started doing it, but it seems like it's a good option.
Right.
It kind of takes her out of that tantrum. And
Yeah.
sometimes with a tantrum, I mean, I've popped her on the butt just to kind of like get her attention. If you don't spank your kids and that works for you, that's
Right,
great.
that's
You know,
fine,
We're not trying to judge you. Truthfully, to me, I think more kids could probably use a little more spankings in society. And a little more respect taught to
Yeah, absolutely.
to authority and such. Another thing I think is really important with disciplining is you get so frustrated
Oh yeah.
and you guys, they just build. They're angry. They
Yeah.
go back and forth, and the anger builds and builds and builds, and then in the
Yeah.
end, like Caitlin will blow
yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and then nobody's happy.
I lose my cool a lot quicker than I need to. I need to work on my patience because it's, especially with Alina, because she knows how to push back at me. So then I go back, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, it just
I'm
increases.
the parent. I need to
increases
chill.
till,
Yeah.
like a volcano until
Right.
pressure builds and it just erupts.
One
And
of us blows up.
She blows up. Alina goes off crying. And
Right.
and then they have to
Then I have to
console
come
each
back,
other later
yeah.
on. It's just trying to mediate that. And
Yeah, it's been hard.
instead of trying to, you know, win the argument,
Right. Right.
it's trying to calm down and actually have a conversation. Like I said earlier, each individual person is different to discipline.
Right.
Like, I can't take video
Oh.
games away from Millie, obviously,
Right.
or I can't ground her to her room.
Right.
Well, and one thing I think we could be better on, I think we've kind of
Consistency.
failed with Elena, is the consistency. When she says no or is disobedient,
Uh-huh.
like we tell her to do something, she doesn't listen, we'll let it go 1, 2, and then the third time we'll finally be like, Alina,
We told you.
and then she's like, gets all upset. and I'm
Right. They need to know the first time you say it is when they go and do it. Otherwise, I feel like they think, whatever, I don't have to listen.
and that's
you know?
where I think, like, me growing up with spankings, I think that's where, like,
That I could see that.
you
yeah.
learn that, like, hey,
Okay.
I need to listen because,
Right.
you know, that
I don't wanna
hurts.
get spanked, yeah.
And I don't want it to sound like we got beat, but
No,
we got some good spankings, you know. I don't know how my dad did it with 10 kids. Obviously, when we got older, we got grounded.
Right.
Dishes, we didn't have a dishwasher growing up, so we did dishes by hand. And one of my brothers was so defiant at my dad. Like, them two went back and forth all the time. He ended up doing dishes for like 2 years straight, which was awesome because I didn't have to do it. But he would be like, all right, you got 2 weeks. My dad would be like, you got 2 weeks of dishes. He's like, I don't care, give me some more. And they would go back and forth.
Oh,
My dad's
no.
face would get red.
Oh
And
no.
It was bad. As a parent, like, I can see how that happens. That's like with Millie. You
Yeah.
try to do something to her and she's like, I don't care.
Right.
So, like I said, you've got to find something. You got to find their value, their
Right.
currency.
Speaking of currency, she plays an instrument and she has been known to forget it at school. So we'll be halfway driving home and I'm like, did you grab your instrument? Oh, I forgot it. So we'll have to turn around and go get it. Well, yesterday she forgot it, so we had to turn around and I told her, okay, you know, like we've taken things away and it hasn't worked. I said, so now every time you forget, I need you to give me $1 every time you forget it. And she was like immediately like, oh, you know, like that was a big deal to her to give up her money. Well, so she must have thought about it like halfway through home. We went back and got the instrument. Driving home, she goes, you know, Mom, taking away my money isn't gonna work. She's like, I'm already broke. She's like, so you're not gonna get money from me. And I'm like, touche.
Yeah, she's
It's
smarter
true.
than we.
She is smart.
She's smart for her own good.
She is, and it's like, well, because at first I was like, yes, this worked, you know, like victory. Like,
Alina, for the biggest part, our disciplinary actions with hers will ground her.
ground, yeah.
You know, she can't have sleepovers. Video games is a big one. She loves
Yes,
to play video games.
yes.
We give her 30 minutes of screen time, and we can take that away if it's
Yeah.
something small. So, depending on what she does, she got in trouble at school for talking.
Oh,
during
yeah.
her dare class,
Mhm.
and her and some kids in the class got taken to the principal's office.
Right.
And so she got grounded for what, almost a month.
She chose her punishment with that
Oh yeah,
one.
that's right.
Yeah,
she chose
that
and that's
one.
also another good one, especially if you're getting older.
If they're older,
Like
yeah.
Alina's 11 now,
Mhm.
and she's getting to the point like, all right, you tell me what your punishment is.
Wow, what do you
And
think?
obviously, we decide if it's good enough.
Well, yeah.
And she usually comes up with
She
pretty
came
good
up, yeah, like that one, Greg and I looked at each other like, that's harsher than we would have.
Right.
But we
Deal.
were like, okay, you know, like we wouldn't have gone that far, but she did, and we held her to it.
For Millie,
Millie is
we're
a whole
kind of
new
still,
ballgame. Yeah.
you know, every
Feeling
once in a
her
while,
out.
sometimes like a little pop on the butt.
Well, yeah, it's
Nothing that
enough.
hurts, but
No.
enough to kind of break her tantrum for a
Yes.
second to like, whoa, what just
Right.
happened?
Most toddlers have these extreme tantrums, I know.
You know,
I hope they do.
I'm considering calling a priest in.
Right, yeah,
when this happens,
sometimes,
you know,
yeah.
she needs a
Exorcism.
exorcism.
Yeah,
It's like she's
but-
full out beast
Right.
mode.
Right, right. We call her Hulk, like sometimes,
Yeah,
like she goes into Hulk mode, like.
Millie smart.
Yeah, she's like, but you know, and we're learning.
What I've learned is you got to keep calm with her. It's
Yes.
It's
If you get worked up, she gets worked up. You know.
Ultimately, I guess what I wanted to say, the points we wanted to get across is just remember, you guys, all kids are different.
Yeah.
So you
define
can't
it.
discipline them the same. You got to
No.
define their currency. What is
Right.
important to them.
Right.
Like Lincoln, all he cares about is his mom. I wanted to ground him and take his mommy away. But we'd never do that to you, Bubba, would he?
Aw.
No. Sometimes I wish we could ground you, but you're too little.
Right.
You're too little. You're ornery sometimes, aren't you?
Yeah.
So find their currency and keep your cool, because a lot of times going back and forth, it just intensifies things. And next thing you know, like my dad, you end up grounded for 2 years.
Yeah.
And you guys, also another point I wanted to bring up is you guys can't threaten and then not follow through.
Oh yeah, I'm
Because
guilty.
they'll learn real quick, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not going to do that to me.
Yeah, empty threats. Yeah.
Empty threats do not work. You
Right.
say, hey, if you do this, this is going to happen. And whatever, discipline methods you guys use, it's good. If it works for you, that's great. But like I said, each kid's different.
Right.
We're doing the best we can, and hopefully you guys are too. Obviously, you guys are trying to learn something by watching our video.
Just remember that they're all different, but you love them so much, that's why they do need to be disciplined. Like, you can't just let them run the show because it makes you lose your mind. You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
Especially as they get older, like with
Right.
Alina. It's like,
Right.
if
And
we
they
don't
start
nip it in
going
the
out.
bud,
Right.
she's really going to be bad.
Yeah, think about when they get phones, they start driving. You have to be tough on them now, and as they grow, they know what you expect of them.
We hope you guys enjoyed this Family Fuel
Feel
Friday. And we'll be back next Friday with another episode. If you guys got any suggestions of what you want us to talk about, comment down below.
Yes, absolutely.
And we'll read those and get back with you.
And thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you for watching.
Yay.
If you liked the video,
Sorry
give it a
about
big
this crabby butt.
if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.